Let's break down Frightmare, 1983, the weird meta-horror flick that marked Jeffrey Combs's horror debut. Yes, the guy from Reanimator. This movie basically asks, what if your favorite horror star came back from the dead and hunted his biggest fans? So what's the plot? Here's how it goes. Conrad Ragzoff, Ferdinand Mayne, used to be a big deal in horror movies, but now he's washed up, stuck doing commercials and brooding over his glory days. Then, boom, he dies, or so everyone thinks, and gets buried in this flashy mausoleum. Cue a group of obsessed film students: Meg, Saint, Stu, Eve, Donna, Oscar, and Bobo. They love Rezgoff so much they borrow his corpse for a wild graveside tribute party. Because when you love a horror star, what says thank you better than Grand Theft Corpse? Obviously, stealing from the dead doesn't end well. Ragzoff comes back. Undead? Vampire? It's a whole thing. Out for supernatural vengeance. Soon the students are getting picked off in crazy ways. Tongue ripped out, set on fire, suffocating in toxic vapors, floating coffins, heads chopped off. The works. By the end, the survivors try putting Ragzoff back to rest in his crypt to stop the curse, but the ending leaves things weird and open, making the movie and some fun facts shot around 1981, but the official release didn't really happen until 1983. It was actually called The Horror Star at first. There's a rumor that Christopher Lee was almost cast as Ragzoff. The film even borrowed real horror memorabilia, courtesy of superfan Forrest J. Ackerman. Look for those Easter eggs. Themes, style, and why it's weird. It's kinda meta. A movie about horror fandom, obsessed students, washed-up legends, and how sometimes loving someone turns toxic, literally. Classic horror tropes, stealing bodies, unleashing curses, waking up the dead, all present and accounted for. Goofy set pieces. Ever seen a mausoleum with motion sensors and video messages? How about coffins that float around? Yeah, it's that kind of movie, part spooky, part camp. Did people like it? On Rotten Tomatoes, it doesn't really impress the critics, sitting at a measly 19%. Aficionados dig it for the bonkers death scenes and horror in jokes. As one Redditor summed up, I kept covering and uncovering my eyes. Vampire named Conrad, levitating the coffin and sealed it up. It's out there on VHS, OG Vestron video, and if you're looking for it now, you can find it on DVD Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome. The good, the bad, and the ugly, what works. Some truly wild, memorable death scenes, floating coffins, fire traps, you name it. The whole fans stealing their idol's corpse idea is nuts, in a fun way. Ambitious setups for a cheap B-movie, tombs, video screens, supernatural mayhem. What doesn't? The story can be a mess, weird pacing, thin characters, and some killer motivations that don't really add up. Sometimes it drags, and if you're here for plot, well, you're really just here for the kills. Production values are, budget conscious. The acting and effects show those dollar store origins. Want more 80s movie nostalgia? Hit subscribe to Movies of the 80s and get your fix of retro weirdness.